Okay.
So we're ready to go now. We're live.
Okay. Thanks, Karen. Jonas, did you want to call the meeting to order?
Sure. So we have quorum.
Yes, we
right?
did. Yes, we did.
All right. So welcome to everybody. It's the second meeting of the year. Wow. Yeah. So unfortunately, we had a couple stop and go. Anyway, any disclosure of interest? Anybody? Anybody? Nope. I guess we're good to go. So moving forward, any agenda, no presentations there?
No, not today.
Okay, no delegations. Minutes from previous meetings, January 27. Wow.
Yeah, we'll go back in time a little bit and take a look at those, just to refresh ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to go through the agenda because not many people remember that, I guess.
Yeah. Did you want me to go through them quickly, Jonas? Or
Yeah. Please go ahead. I think it's easy for
Sure.
everybody.
So when we met last in January, we elected our chairperson, vice chairperson. So you can keep scrolling, Karen, to the next section, please. And we reviewed City Green as usual, which we will do again tonight. You can keep going. You can just stop there for a moment. Oh yeah, we appointed Kelly and Catherine to City Green. And then we looked at the cycling master plan, and we had brought a report forward at that time. And we went through our typical CEAC minutes and EAC meetings. There were no meetings for EAC at that time. We looked at the code of conduct, and we talked about virtual meetings for the year. We're finally doing that. And we had a little discussion about trails, which we're going to next month have a presentation from the Trails Advisory Committee just on their projects. So we'll get some more update from them on that.
All right, that was a quick meeting.
Yeah,
so
I just noticed that we'll just go back to the beginning there, and then we just need a mover and a seconder for the minutes of the previous meeting.
Anybody there? Move.
Anyone
First.
use their reaction? Councillor Wolf. And I thought I saw one, and Nicole. Thank you. Okay, we can move forward to.
All right. Okay, next on the agenda is subcommittee reports or the meetings from City Green.
Yeah, so Kelly has kindly offered to give us a highlights from the year, because we have quite a few meeting notes from City Green for this year, so we're not going to go through each and every one of them, but Kelly's offered to give us a little highlight reel of what they've been up to this last year.
Thanks, Kathy. And I have to give credit to Paul Wilms, because when I saw the request, I thought I sought some advice from Paul about the things he'd like to highlight. So I have some speaking bullets first versus going through the minutes. So first and foremost, recently we had a new autumn cleanup event that is connected to World Cleanup Day, and it was September 18th, and it involves 50 million people around the world cleaning up. So in spite of our event that we normally hold in April being canceled, we did hold the fall event, and we still had several groups cleaning up, and we had a total of about 300 participants. And we anticipate hosting the next regular community cleanup next April again, which will be great. For Cambridge stewardship and tree planting, it's going to be on hold for several years until we have new planting sites that we can identify, as we've planted all available sites. And also the equipment and trailer needs to be replaced. Trailer is 5 years past its life, and equipment has apparently been repeatedly stolen over the past 2 to 3 years from the trailer, which is unfortunate. So the only, and not to diminish it in any shape, manner, or form, the one Cambridge stewardship project that we have going is the Ancient Mariners Canoe Club Pollinator Preserve, which will again be planted in May 2022. Another interesting thing that developed over the course of the past several months, I always feel like during COVID, every month's is a year, so really it's like a decade. But the city and the community partners like the food bank and the ID exchange, the butterfly conservatory, etc. Through that, Cambridge became designated as a bee city. So we have steel Bee City Canada garden signs that were produced through a Region of Waterloo Community Environmental Fund grant, and they were made available. There's about 30 signs that can be distributed, and it's really aimed at those neighbors who will spread the word about planting more native plants, not using pesticides, so that we improve pollinator habitat. So interested people were given the signs. Like I personally didn't, because most of our pollinator gardens in the backyard as opposed to our front yard, but where you had the opportunity to showcase it, it was a good marketing opportunity. As well for communication, we have the City Green Meetup page, and we continue to get interest showing up, and we have signups to cite the fact that we've been rather dormant over the past 2 years due to COVID. We've continued to post events and things people can do at home, such as REAP's Waste Challenge or Project Neutral, as well as an online webinar type events that come up. So we have about 325 people following. And also our group is working on 2 online resources, and these complement the CEAC's online natural heritage tour, which took a 50-page booklet with 30 natural heritage sites in Cambridge and made an online resource. So within that, we have two projects, and one is Tremendous Cambridge, and it's to celebrate large or distinctive trees in the city that's currently under development. So we have 800 trees so far, and using the city's tree inventory as a base, we'll add more trees. And the end game is to have a plan for a phone-based resource so someone can look up the information and ecosystem services of a tree in which they are interested. So they're really working diligently, some members of the committee, to make it plain language and really resonate so that people will understand. And when we're talking about the services it provide, it can be things like, carbon dioxide emissions that are removed for the environment, or stormwater protection, that type of thing. So they're working on that project. We've had a few new members over the past year that are really active on the committee, which is wonderful. And the second piece came out of a Jane's Walk tour of Mill Creek. And so we're working to turn the live self-guided tour into a self-guided online tour. So we're taking the notes that were created and the photos so that someone could actually be able to, similar to the heritage tour, go online, and whether it's looking at codes or something, look up the information and read about it and get that kind of environmental and also eco, like the human aspect of the development and that type of thing. Those are the highlights from the last year. Paul's been really good about, as you can see from all the built up minutes, from meeting regularly, so that's been good. A lot of time was spent navigating the litter cleanup and how we could hold it safely, and designing or modifying how we had people pick up the bags and we handed out supplies. And it was interesting to do it in the fall, but like anything, it's the habitual nature, and people are really used to the spring cleanup, and it's more opportune in the spring because the leaves, the litter obviously shows once the snow melts and everything. So we hope to do that again certainly in April, and we got a good run through about how to maximize our resources. And we found that partnering and leveraging those partnerships, like with the idea exchange and things, have been really important for how we conduct projects so that we're not working in an insular environment, but leveraging those around us so that we can complement what they do and we can build support for City Green. So that's it in a nutshell. And I'm
Sounds
sure
great.
I probably covered everything in the minutes from the last meeting. So I think unless you'd like something specific, I'm good.
That's a great summary. Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Paul. I ad-libbed a bit, but you go to the experts.
Yes.
All right. Any questions for Kelly? Actually, for City Green. Okay, Kelly, what is the plan? You still going to through the virtual meetings, no face-to-face meeting for a while, or there's any plan to go back to any face-to-face meeting? And how is coming along the annual work plan? I guess it's usually presented in the first meeting of the year, something like that, right?
Yeah, I think we didn't talk about the work plan yet. We've stayed virtual, and I think it's dependent on when the city allows meetings to resume. But I think we're going to have a new location when we do meet, because I know Paul's changed offices, and I'm not sure we're even allowed to go into City Hall right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, there won't be in-person meetings for a little while for committees. So we're just waiting on, we'll just see how that unfolds before we can meet again. And then as for our annual report and work plans, Clerks has taken a little bit of a different route than we normally do, because normally each committee prepares their own annual report and work plan. And this past year, Clerks compared like a combined super report for all of the committees. So that might be the way that we proceed going forward. So it might be a little different than we normally have done it.
And recently I did miss that Paul went and spoke to the youth advisory. What's the CC? I call it CEAC.
Youth Advisory Committee?
Yeah, so he had a presentation for them. If anyone's interested, we could always share that out to committee members. And that's to engage when we're doing projects. We also like to reach out to the younger members on that committee and again, the partnerships and leverage if there's volunteer opportunities or items like that.
All right, and one more thing is, anybody would wish to go as a guest for the City Green virtual, just email to Paul, or how do we do that?
If you want to join the committee?
Just as a guest first.
Oh, as a guest? Oh, yeah, you can always just email Paul.
Yeah.
I'm sure Kathy could append it to the minutes, the email for Paul.
Yeah, and I think the meetup page that they've created is kind of the main portal into that group. But yeah, anyone can attend a City Green meeting. So in the meeting minutes, we could put Paul's contact for anyone who might want to contact him.
Yeah, I just suggested to everybody to keep in touch and support the events the City Green does. And I think I missed a couple ones for the last 2 minutes I look at it. Yeah, it's been very active, so it's just a suggestion in there. I'll probably do myself. Yeah.
I realized I missed the run through of the Mill Creek. They were doing an in-person run through, and then my daughter, who's also on City Green, said to me yesterday, she goes, that run through was tonight, like at 8 o'clock at night. I go, oh, we missed that one. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities through City Green to do more of the hands-on.
Good. How do we do that? We are going to have a motion for approving all the minutes.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can we get a motion to approve the City Green minutes from January, February, March, April, May, June, and August?
Yes. Tom and Connie. Welcome, Connie.
Yeah, all in favor. Yep.
Thank you. Thanks for the thumbs up.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I was scrambling to Delayed
all good.
reaction.
We're
Delayed
getting
reaction.
used to the new format, so it's all good.
Yeah, you don't mind if I say all in favor of myself, say yes, voice instead of a thumbs up? No,
But voice is fine too. It's a
I don't
small
know how to put my
Okay.
thumb down now.
All right.
I think you go back
Next
to the
on the agenda.
reactions to
Yeah, I
move
thought
it.
so. I'm pressing it. It's still not going down.
Oh, it's okay. I'll go through the next two items,
Yep.
Jonas, under correspondence. So we received correspondence from a Cambridge resident regarding her experience of waste disposal, proper waste disposal of various items in the city, how there's kind of a different disposal option for different things. So being that waste disposal and waste is at the regional level, I reached out to some regional counterparts and provided a response to her. And Karen, you can scroll down to the next letter. That's good, thanks. So just provided some information about the how waste is collected and different ways of disposing waste. And most of the items, many of items can be disposed of at the Cambridge Waste Management site, but items such as pharmaceuticals and syringes should be disposed of at a pharmacy they're just more capable of handling that kind of waste. Also, as this group knows just from our involvement in previous consultation, the provincial government is working on a new waste disposal methods going forward, where the producer of products and packaging would be responsible for taking care of waste at the end of its life. So this is called a circular economy versus what we're doing now. So there's still a lot of details to be rolled out about how this is going to work. So our waste collection could very well change in the next few years. So kind of stay tuned on how this new approach is going to roll out. So this letter was mailed to the residents, I believe 2 weeks ago, the last week. So I just wanted to share it with CEAC because it was addressed to myself and to CEAC. Kelly?
Yeah, I was just going to add that they also posted on the environmental registry administrative penalties, a proposal for that under the Resource Recovery and Circular Economy Act back in September. That closes in the near future in November.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Lisa?
I just wanted to say I thought it was a really well-written letter, response letter, Kathy, and it was helpful even to myself, this information to have at hand. So if there was somewhere that it's compiled in this kind of format on the website or something, that might be helpful for other folks who are looking for this information. I thought it was very informative and helpful. I didn't understand all this process myself, so.
Yeah, we actually have talked about putting it on the city's website, some more details about these different methods of disposal.
Yeah,
so,
great.
Yeah. It can be a challenge because I mean, you know, you want to do the right thing and you might have to go to a few different locations, but
Exactly.
through the compiling this, a lot of stuff can be taken to the one site, which is nice, but it's not, there's that waste app, the Waste Whiz, I think, but sometimes it might not have these specific things in it too. If you've used that app, it is handy, but you know, there's still some questions sometimes about where things should go properly. Kelly, are you still have your hand up from last time, or?
No, I was going to say I use the Waste Whiz app, and I get I love getting my reminders every week to remind me about what I can do.
Yeah,
and
which things you can put on the curb.
Yeah, and then I research the other items about, you know, going through their system. So it is somewhat useful, and it's a good reminder on.
Yeah, I do consult it often myself. It is kind of handy to have it on the phone like that.
Yeah.
So this was just for correspondence, so we don't need a mover or seconder.
Yeah, just some comments there, Carrie. I like the idea that to put that information on the somewhere in Cambridge. I'm not sure which location the page for the city of Cambridge should be, or a link to the waste management where some of these information would be there already, right? So I myself, I look at a letter. I was surprised some of those I didn't know either. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think we're looking at putting it on the city's environment page, so we'll take a look at that as an option.
Next on the agenda, Cambridge Cycling and Trails Advisory Committee minutes.
Yeah, so they've had a few meetings since we last met, but I decided just to show the last set of meetings, the meeting minutes, since we don't, their meetings don't get approved through us. It's just for your information. So instead of going through their minutes as well, Jason Leach, who is the staff liaison to this committee, has said he could come and give us a presentation next month about some highlights of CEAC projects, which I know we always enjoy seeing what they're up to every year. So they're going to give us a rundown next month of their current projects. Yeah, we'll get an update on all of these. And then Karen, if you would just like to go back to the face sheet on page 2. Thanks. I also included the last few agendas from the Regional Ecological and Environmental Advisory Committee, just for your information. They're kind of a little bit older, so if you're interested, you can go into them and take a look. But I think the next time we meet, they'll have a more recent agenda of what they're working on, so we can take a look at that one in more detail. And then that leaves item number 6, the Natural Heritage Trust Fund update. Thank you. So this is just a follow-up on, if you recall, we had some meetings, we had some fairly lengthy discussions about the Natural Heritage Trust Fund and what to do with the funds from that. And we had decided to put forward to council to plant some large spade trees at some local parks around playground equipment, something that would provide shade to people who are using these parks. And it provides like instant shade because they're larger stature trees. So our parks group has been looking into this, and they've selected the locations and the types of trees that would be planted here. So we can just do like a slow scroll through, and it indicates which park, and then the red dot is the location of the tree. So the location of the tree is they have to see what's under the ground, if it's a safe spot to dig, and proximity to other things. So there been quite a bit of time doing locates to determine where the trees should go. And this is what they have come up with. And they've selected some native species as CEAC had recommended, which is city practice anyways. So we'll just keep showing you those. I think is that the last one? One more. So a number of trees. So it's 2, 4, 9 trees with the funds, and the swamp white oak was selected and sugar maple. The park staff made decisions on the type of tree based on the specific situation for the park. they didn't select certain species, like basswood can attract wasps, and silver maples are prone to storm branch breakage. So swamp white oaks were selected because they're a solid tree and they thrive in a variety of soil and weather conditions. And then sugar maple to replace in some areas where there's been intense LDD, which is the formerly called gypsy moth. So there was intention behind the tree selections, and they're actually hoping to get these trees in this year still. So when I know of, we can set up a viewing of one of the trees being planted if we can get that determined this year. So I'll keep you posted, because I know that you guys wanted to see one of these be installed. Callie's given the thumbs up because she knows that it would be cool to watch. So we just had to come back and give you the update on that as per the direction from CEAC. So it's nice to see that project's moving ahead. It got a little bit stalled with COVID, but it's still moving ahead.
Yep. That's good to have a closure, and at the end have a picture of that, and the next report, annual report for CEAC, we just make that record of closure. That's good.
Yeah.
Any other business? Anybody?
I've seen Lisa's hand go up.
I just want to ask if we could recap the subcommittees and any status on that. I seem to recall volunteering for one, but there was no follow-up. I'm not sure if I've missed something or.
Yeah, I might have to follow up an email because I don't have all of my
Sure.
stuff open, but I think it was for
Is it Maple Grove?
Maple Grove, yeah. It just seems like that's been kind of stalled. I've asked for the EIS. I just haven't gotten anything to circulate to you guys yet.
I just wanted to make sure I hadn't missed something.
Yeah, no, you haven't missed anything. You would definitely, I'd be bugging you via email.
Okay.
But I'm curious about that one myself because I have followed up recently and haven't heard back. So it was on my list to follow up yet again, so I will.
Okay, great. And are there any other subcommittees coming up or on the go? It's been so long since.
Not that I have on my radar.
Okay.
Maybe it would be helpful if I sent out a list to you guys of subcommittees that I still consider to be active,
Sure.
that we're just waiting for the next opportunity to comment. I know this year has been pretty been quieter than other years on public consultation opportunities. But I know like things are really ramping up. So I'm expecting more opportunities for us to get involved like we usually are. So maybe I'll put together a little summary of the committees that that are still active, that we haven't closed off yet, that are still ongoing. And I might not know when we're going to get the next opportunity to be consulted on, but at least everyone knows which committees they're still tied to at this time.
Any other business? I have one question there, Kathy. It's now that the Waterloo Airport is kind of kicking off the expansion. Is there any plan for anything coming as far as the road development, expansion, or improvements to access the airport? Because if that is really a go, I would imagine that the traffic will increase. Obviously, Maple Grove could potentially be one as well with access. Could it be from east and west, and also from the neighborhood communities driving to the airport? Have you heard anything around this?
I'm not sure about the road component. I know at some point, like in the plan, Fountain Street is to be upgraded with the regional roads. I don't know timelines on that. I'm not sure about the road component upgrade.
Yeah, the Fountain Street, I remember that was part of that major developed industrial, right, East Side land. I guess it still did not go further, but their part probably is going to go first, right? So that's what I would see. Fountain might be need some upgrade, right?
Yeah, I know Fountain
Okay.
is to be upgraded at some point. I just don't know the timing that the region has for that project, but it is on the radar.
Yep. Anyway, just checking
Yeah,
out.
I mean,
Any?
Tom made a little chat that he recalls being on that committee. So when I put together the update on each committee, I can just provide a little like, where are we at on this one? So everyone knows this is the point that we're at on each committee.
All right. Any other business? Okay. Sounds like I guess we are next meeting on November 24th. Is a go, or we're still wandering around for what comes to the agenda?
No, that one will be a go. I have confirmed that the
Okay.
Trails Committee will come and do a presentation to us, and then
Okay.
I don't know what else will be on the agenda yet, but I will hopefully add to that.
All right. So November 24th it is. It's going to be still virtual until we figure out the next. And that probably is going to be the last meeting for the year, or because December, we used to do a kind of Christmas, something
Yeah.
like that.
I'll have to kind of see what we can do if
Yeah.
what kind of rules are in place by then.
Oh,
But I
all
think
right.
we had December 15th maybe as a possible Christmas thing, but I don't know protocol. I'll look into it.
Oh, all right. Okay, so that way we will be closing a meeting. So meeting will be adjourning. And 7:38, that was the quickest one.
We just need a mover and second. I wanted to ease everybody into our first virtual meeting. Connie, I think Connie's moving.
Yep, thanks, Connie.
And the
And
seconder?
second.
Tom, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. All right.
Well, it was
Hey.
really nice to kind of see everybody again.
Sure. Anyway, let's hope for one of these meetings had in 2022. We will do face-to-face meeting. Okay,
Agreed.
so we can adjourn the meeting 7:39. That's p.m. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.